Hi there, my name is Richard McMunn from the career guidance company howtobecome.com, and in this training video I'm going to teach you how to prepare for and pass the Army interview. So I'm going to give you loads of sample Army interview questions. I'm going to give you a few answers as well. Please watch the video from beginning to end, because I think if you're going through any kind of Army interview, then I feel it will be of benefit to you. And before I get into some of the sample questions and answers, I want to quickly go over a couple of obvious tips. Now, a lot of people will think you don't need to tell me about this, I already know about it, but I just want to stress the importance of presentation when you go to your interview. Make sure you turn up on time. If you don't know where the interview location is, i.e. you've not been there before, do a trial run the night before. Make sure you know exactly where to go. Get there on time, arrive early, and make sure you're presented really smart. Suit, shirt, tie, polished shoes as well, neutral colours. Sit upright in the interview chair. Don't sit down until you're invited to do so. Shake their hand firmly, look them in the eye. And when you're responding to the interview questions, look at the interview panel in the eye. You're not staring them out, but you need to look at them with confidence, because you need to demonstrate resilience, competence and confidence during the interview. Remember, this is your chance for a fantastic future career. So make sure you prepare fully and you are representative of the standards that the Army expects, okay? Because it's a disciplined service, so you have to make sure that you demonstrate you have the potential to, like I say, be professional and obviously be the best. So let's take a look at a few sample interview questions. Now, some of them are really easy, but you can get caught out. Some of them are much tougher, but make sure you prepare fully for it. So the first question you could get asked is, why do you want to join the Army? Don't forget there are other services, there's Royal Air Force, the Royal Navy. And I remember when I went for my first initial Armed Forces interview, the first question was, why do you want to join? Why do you not want to join the other two services? So you have to give a reason why you've chosen this one, and it also has to be your choice, nobody else's. You don't want to be going there with having your parents forced you along to the interview, or they want you to do it more than anything. It's got to be your choice, and you need to have the support of your family as well. So why do you want to join the Army? Well, you have to demonstrate motivation when answering these questions. You have to give really good reasons, not just, oh, I've wanted to join for many years now and that's it. You have to give an in-depth answer as to the reasons why. So we want to be able to get you to demonstrate that you've done plenty of research, you know what's coming with regards to the training, you've been preparing for it, you know what your weaknesses are as well, and you're ready to go. So I'm going to read a sample response, and I'll tell you where you can get a copy of this as well, but take notes as I go along. So I've wanted to join the Army for a number of years now, and feel that I've now reached a part of my life where I am ready to commit to the service. Having studied the Army recruitment literature and visited the Army website, I'm impressed by the professionalism and the standards the service sets itself. I want a career that is fulfilling, challenging and rewarding, and I believe that the Army would provide all of these. I enjoy keeping physically fit and active, and believe that given the right training, I would make a great team member. I'm also very much attracted to the fact that the Army offers a wide range of career choices. The fact that I would be improving my education and ending up with a trade is just another example of why I want to join this great service. I've seriously considered the implications that joining a service such as the Army would have both on my personal life and my social life, and I've discussed these in detail with my family. They're giving me their full support and commitment in helping me to achieve my goal of joining the Army. So that demonstrates a mature response. You're fully aware of what's going to happen. Also, the impact on your social life and your family life is really important as well. Like I say, I'll tell you where you can get a copy of this sample response to use it to construct your own as I progress through this presentation. Another sample question, how do you think you're going to cope with Army life in relation to the discipline and being part of a military organisation? I can remember when I first joined, I joined the Royal Navy, and it was a bit of a shock, to be honest, when I went along there first of all, and I was told to iron my kit and polish my shoes, and you know, I was only like 16 years of age, so you know, found it tough initially, but I was mentally prepared for it. So a lot of people aren't prepared for discipline in this kind of organisation, and whilst the Army are extremely supportive of people that go in, and they will coach you and they will mentor you, you have to be prepared for discipline and also being part of a military organisation with regards to looking after yourself, taking personal responsibility, getting up when required and preparing for the next day well in advance. So you need to think about this carefully. Here's my sample response to the interview question. How do you think you're going to cope with Army life in relation to the discipline and being part of a military organisation? Now, having read the information that's available to me about the Army way of life, I think I would cope very well. I know that I will find it difficult at times, but believe I have both the maturity and stability to succeed and become a competent member of the team. The very nature of the army means that it requires a disciplined workforce. Without that discipline, things can go wrong. If I'm successful and I do not carry out my duties professionally and diligently, then I could endanger somebody's life. I understand why discipline is required and believe I would cope with it well. I also understand that being in the army is not a 9-to-5 job, but instead you must take on tasks whenever required. In order to prepare for the training, I've already integrated routine and self-discipline into my life. For example, I've been getting up really early at 5 a.m. every weekday morning to go running, and I've started carrying out daily household tasks such as hoovering, cleaning and ironing. At the very start of my preparation for joining the army, I made myself an action plan that would focus my mind on what I needed to do in order to improve and achieve my goals. So again, you can see that's quite it's a strong response. It demonstrates a level of maturity. You're also stating in that response that you know that if you're not disciplined as a person and you're not organised and effective and you're working as part of a team and doing your job, then you are endangering not just your life but other lives as well, and you could sacrifice the mission or impact on the mission that you're actually doing with your team. So make sure that you read that carefully, that response. Like I say, I'll tell you where to get a copy of it, and you structure your own based on your own beliefs as well. So let's take a look at another interview question for the army. How do you think you're going to fit into a team? Now, I could respond to that question and say, yeah, I think I would respond really well. I would work hard as part of a team. But the best way to respond to this kind of question, fitting into a team environment, is to actually give an example of where you've already done this. So a great example would be if you've worked in a team environment, say for example as part of work or as part of a team activity, a sports activity, maybe it be hockey, rugby, football, whatever it is, and you've worked with other people already, because that would really help with your response. So being an effective team member means about communicating with all the team, listening to the initial brief, making sure you play to people's strengths, but you're also aware of everybody else's weaknesses within the team, okay, because you are only as strong in the team as the weaknesses, okay, so you need to be aware of the weaknesses and supporting each other, motivating each other. And also, once you've finished the task, it's about a debrief, about understanding where you went wrong or how you could improve for next time. So having an understanding of what it's like to work in a team environment is really strong. If you can demonstrate that you've already done this before, then that is much better. Here's my sample response to the interview question. How do you think you're going to fit into the army team environment? I've experienced working in a team. I really enjoyed it, so I know I would fit in well. I play for my local rugby team, and it's important that everybody gels together in order to win our games. The real test for the team is when we're being beaten, and I always try to rally the team together and get us motivated to win back the points we have lost. I understand that the army needs to work together effectively as a team to get the right result. If the team doesn't perform, then people's lives can be put at risk. Being an effective part of the team also means that I would have to train hard and keep up my competency levels, which I believe I would do well. With my experience of team sports and having the ability to pull a team together when the chips are down, I think I will be a great asset to the army team. So again, another response, but if you can give a specific example of where you've worked as part of a team, then all the better. Okay, another really simple question, but one that can catch you out, is what do you do in your spare time? Okay, so they're trying to find out what you do in your spare time. If you're the kind of person who sits on their backside, plays computer games all day and all night, then perhaps army life isn't for you. They would much prefer to see people who are out there being active, improving their confidence and competency levels. Maybe you've got a part-time job, maybe you've been doing voluntary work. All those things will work in your favour. So here's my answer, suggested answer for the army interview question. What do you do in your spare time? During my spare time, I like to keep active, both physically and mentally. I enjoy visiting the gym 3 times a week, and I have a structured workout that I try to vary every 3 months to keep my interest levels up. I am also currently doing a part-time studying course in art, which is one of my hobbies. I'm also a member of the local Army Cadets, which is an evening's commitment every week, and the occasional weekend. Of course, I know when it's time to relax, and I usually do this by listening to music or playing snooker with my friends, but overall, I am a very active person. I certainly don't like sitting around and doing nothing. I understand that if I'm successful at joining the army, there will be plenty of things to do in the evenings to keep me occupied, such as the gym and other various social events. So the key thing is there to make sure when you're responding to the interview question, what do you do in your spare time, that you demonstrate that you are active and you are looking to continually develop and improve as a person. Okay, next question. Can you tell us about any personal achievements you have experienced during your life so far? So if you have a history of achieving, whether it's during education in work or working as part of a team, then that will only serve you well because it demonstrates a history of achievement. So it might be things like Duke of Edinburgh Awards, GCSEs, A-levels, team or individual sports, awards, trophies and medals, and even things like raising money for charity. I remember when I was joining, one of the things I did while I was at school was I arranged a charity event. We only raised a few £100, but that demonstrated that, one, I'm a caring person, one, I can be organised when needed because I took care of the whole organisation of the event, and also that I'm prepared to do something for others, okay, not putting myself first, putting other people first. So let's take a look at a sample response to the interview question. Can you tell us about any personal achievements you've experienced during your life so far? Yes, I can. So far in my life, I've managed to achieve a number of things that I'm proud of. To begin with, I recently worked hard to achieve positive GCSE results, which enable me to go on to further education and study my choice of subject. Without these grades, I would have not been able to do that. About a year ago, the football team that I play in won the league trophy for the second year running, which is another one of my more recent achievements. However, my most memorable achievement to date is managing to raise £1,000 for a local charity. I worked hard and ran a marathon in order to raise the money. I was particularly proud of this achievement because it meant the charity I ran for were able to purchase some important items of equipment that could be used to treat some of their patients. So if you were listening to that response, you were an army officer, and you're listening to that response, somebody wants to join, I'd suggest that you might be impressed by that you are already doing things and you're taking responsibility, looking to improve not just your own life and your own grades, etc., but you're looking to help other people as well. Okay, so you're selfless. Okay, next question. Can you tell me what you have learned about your chosen career? So you will have your choices of career. You know, it's not just about looking at the website or the glossy brochures and thinking, oh, this will be a great job. You need to understand what the job's about that you're applying for and also why you would fit in well, where you have your strengths and also being aware of weaknesses as well. So make sure you do lots of study for this. So I'll give you a sample response based on the chosen career of aircraft dispatcher. I understand that the Army relies on air delivery from helicopters and other transport aircraft to resupply quickly. My job, if I'm successful as an aircraft dispatcher, would be to make sure the loads are carried safely and delivered in one piece. It doesn't matter whether the loads are slung underneath a Chinook, helicopter or dropped by parachute from a Hercules aircraft, it would still be my responsibility to ensure things went smoothly. I would be working with other services such as the Royal Air Force and the Royal Navy, and I'd be travelling with my cargo most of the time. In addition to my main roles as dispatcher, I would also learn to drive and be trained in survival, safety and emergency drills. So you're fully aware of what you will be going through. Another question, what qualities do you think you need to be a good team player? So you might have given a previous answer to the question, when have you demonstrated effective team working skills, but I'll just quickly give you some of the qualities of an effective team player because it's so important that you know these. You're enthusiastic, you want to achieve the end goals for the team, you're a good communicator, both written and orally, you're a motivated person, you are supportive of other team members, you provide other team members with encouragement, so you're shouting positive things to them to get them going, especially when the chips are down. You're determined to complete the task, you are a completer finisher. So that's a great quality for somebody to have, is they complete things and they get them finished even when they don't want to do them sometimes. You're professional and competent and you can follow standards and your training, your operational procedures, and you're always focused on the wider team objective. Okay, another question. What are the values of the British Army? Okay, what are the values? You should know these before you go along to the interview. So here's my response to what are the values of the British Army. The values of the British Army are a selfless commitment, courage, discipline, integrity, loyalty and respect for others. As a soldier, you have to be prepared to carry out tasks others don't want to do. It is important to be strong and aggressive in battle, but to also behave properly and demonstrate self-control at all times. Army soldiers and officers have to be aggressive and strong in battle, yet behave properly, show self-control all of the time. Being courageous means facing up to danger and doing what is right at all times. Discipline means having the ability to maintain constant high standards so that others can rely on you. Integrity means earning the respect and trust of your work colleagues. Loyalty is being faithful to your work colleagues and to your duty, and having respect for others means treating everybody with respect and dignity at all times. So those are just a few sample interview questions that you could get asked that I recommend you prepare for. I'm going to give you a list of a few more. Also in the description below this video, I'm going to list these for you so you can copy and paste them into your own document. What does your family think of you joining the army? It's ideal if they support you, obviously, but it needs to be your decision that you're joining. How do you think you'll cope with losing your personal freedom? Okay, so you're going to lose your personal freedom. You're going to be part of a different team. Yeah, of course, you'll still have your friends when you go home on leave, but you're going to lose your personal freedom. So at the moment, you have loads of time in the evenings to do what you want to do. You can spend time at the weekends, going down the pub, doing whatever it is you do, but you're going to lose that personal freedom. Things are going to really change for you when you join, and you need to be prepared for that. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? And those people who say, I don't have a weakness, in my opinion, are not being truthful. We all have weaknesses, but the key thing is to say what they are, but that you are trying to improve on those weaknesses. But a quick tip, if you say, I struggle to get out of bed in the morning, that's not a great weakness to have, okay? You need to have overcome those kind of things, and you need to have structure in your life. Now, what contact have you had with the army during your preparation? So have you spoke to other people who serve in the army, going along to the careers office, maybe visiting some establishments with their permission? I've already mentioned this one. What are the values of the British Army? What are you currently doing to prepare for initial training? Like, are you doing the bleep test? Have you downloaded a copy of the bleep test? Are you practicing it in your local park? Tell me what training you're going to undergo for your chosen career, branch or trade. What do you think of your exam results? What do you think of the results? Are you happy with them, or have they been improved? And what did you think of your teachers? Now, that's a good question. What do you think of your teachers? I don't believe they want to hear anything derogatory about your teachers, because your teacher is somebody in a position of authority that you should respect whether you like them or not. Okay, so that's assessing what you're like with regards to discipline, how you react to that. So yeah, have a look in the description below the video for a link that will take you through to my website where you can get more sample interview questions. And also, if you're going through the new Army cognitive test, then we've got a guide that will help you with that as well. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed the video. Please, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and then you'll be the first to be notified whenever I create other training videos that will help you pass the Army selection process. Final thing, if you're going for Army officer selection, then I've put another link below the video to another YouTube video where I cover Army officer interview questions. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best in your pursuit to joining the Army.